As we grow older, many of us find ourselves looking back, thinking about the life we have lived, the choices we made, and the paths we followed. It is a natural and deeply human part of aging. We begin to wonder not just how much time we have left, but how we are spending the time we still have. And in those quiet moments of reflection, something powerful can happen. We realize it is never too late to grow, to connect, to forgive, or to begin again. This video was created with that spirit in mind. Today, we will gently walk through 10 of the most common regrets people share near the end of their lives. Truths that come from the real words and experiences of people in their final days, gathered by hospice nurses, caregivers, and researchers. These reflections are not meant to be heavy or sad. Rather, they are offered as a gift, wisdom from those who have lived through it, so that we can make the most of the time we have. Whether you are in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, these insights may help you reimagine what really matters. Let us begin this journey together, starting with the very first reflection, the importance of living a life true to yourself. One of the most common regrets people share at the end of their lives is this: I wish I had lived a life true to myself, not the one others expected of me. It is a quiet truth that often goes unspoken until our later years, when we have more time to reflect on how we have spent our days. Living true to yourself means listening to your own voice, your own dreams, and not allowing the expectations of others to steer your course too far from what really matters to you. It does not have to mean chasing wild adventures or starting over. It could be as simple as pursuing a long-held hobby, setting firmer boundaries, or even speaking up more often for what you believe in. Bronnie Ware, an Australian palliative nurse who cared for hundreds of people in their final weeks, found that this was the #1 regret she heard again and again. And it is something we can begin to address at any age. Consider two women in their 70s, Marlene and Joyce. Marlene spent much of her life doing what others expected, working a job she never really enjoyed, always putting others' needs first, never taking that painting class she dreamed about. Joyce, on the other hand, took up writing poetry in her 60s, even though no one around her really got it. She said it made her feel more alive than anything else. Joyce still had bills to pay, and she still cared for family, but she made space for what made her feel most like herself. That difference, the quiet choice to honor her own spirit, brought her peace in her later years. It is a gentle reminder that being true to yourself does not have to be loud or dramatic. It can simply mean taking small steps to live more honestly, more fully. When we live in alignment with who we really are, we often feel lighter, more at ease. So whether it is returning to an old passion, reconnecting with your values, or just allowing yourself to say no more often, living true to yourself is one of the greatest acts of self-respect you can offer. You do not need anyone's permission to begin. And now, as we continue this journey together, let us look at another regret many carry in their later years: the feeling of having worked too hard. Another powerful reflection many people share near the end of life is this: I wish I hadn't worked so hard. It is easy to see how this regret builds quietly over time. Years spent chasing deadlines, staying late at the office, or bringing work home, even during weekends, can steal moments we can never get back. For many older adults today, especially those who came of age during a time when hard work was the ultimate badge of honor, it can feel difficult to step away. But the truth is, we often underestimate how precious our time really is. According to palliative care nurse Bronnie Ware, this regret came up most often among men, though many women echoed it as well, feeling they had missed their children's milestones or meaningful time with their spouses while putting work first. The regret was not about providing for their families, it was about all the life they missed while doing it. Let me share a simple comparison. Tom, now retired, worked 6 days a week for nearly 4 decades. He provided well, but he often says he blinked and his kids were grown. Then there's Edna, who also worked full-time but made a point to protect her evenings and Sundays. She may not have climbed as high on the ladder, but she never missed her grandchildren's recitals, and she hosted Sunday dinners for over 20 years. Looking back, Edna says, "I have no regrets. I lived my life while I worked." For those still in the workforce or supporting others, the takeaway is not to quit everything, but to make space for relationships, joy, and rest. If you're still watching, let us know by typing 2 in the comments below. We would love to hear what this brings up for you. And if this kind of content helps you feel more informed or inspired, please consider liking the video and subscribing. It is one of the best ways to stay connected and help this message reach more people who need it. Now, let's move into another common and tender regret, one that is often unspoken, but just as powerful: not expressing how we truly feel. One of the most tender regrets people often carry is not expressing their true feelings. As we get older, many of us come to realize how much was left unsaid, not because we did not feel deeply, but because we were taught to hold back. Perhaps we kept quiet to avoid conflict, to keep the peace, or because we did not want to seem too emotional. But in doing so, we may have missed the chance to share love, ask for forgiveness, or simply say what was on our hearts. Palliative care experts often hear patients express sorrow over not telling someone they cared about how much they mattered. Words left unspoken can create distance where there could have been closeness. And over time, that silence can become a heavy burden. Take Margaret and Helen, two neighbors who both lived on the same street for over 30 years. Margaret was warm and expressive, quick to give a compliment, write a card, or say "I love you" to her family. Helen, on the other hand, felt things just as deeply, but kept those emotions to herself. She says now, "I thought they knew how I felt, but I never really said it." Margaret's family has stacks of letters and voice messages to hold on to. Helen's children, while loving and supportive, wish they had heard more from her heart. The difference is not in how much they loved, but in how much they let others know it. And in the end, it is often those small moments of expression that bring the most peace. Now, let's turn to another reflection that comes up often in later years, one that touches on friendship and connection. We are going to talk about the regret of losing touch with old friends and why those relationships matter more than we may realize. As we grow older, many of us come to realize just how precious friendships truly are. In fact, one of the most common regrets people share later in life is losing touch with old friends. Life has a way of pulling us in different directions, raising families, moving for work, or simply getting caught up in the day-to-day. But over time, the absence of those long-standing friendships can leave a quiet ache. According to insights from hospice nurses and palliative care professionals, many people nearing the end of life express sadness over letting meaningful relationships fade away. The truth is, friendships are more than just social connections. They are lifelines to joy, shared history, and a sense of belonging that becomes even more important as we age. Let me share a story about two old friends, Ruth and Dolores. They were inseparable in their 30s, talking on the phone nearly every day. But after Ruth moved out of state, life got busy. Holidays came and went, cards were sent, but the phone calls grew less frequent. Decades later, Dolores found Ruth's number and gave her a call. They talked for nearly 2 hours, laughing like no time had passed. Dolores later said, "I didn't realize how much I missed her until I heard her voice." That one call rekindled something they both thought was lost. It is a reminder that even if years have gone by, it is never too late to reconnect. A letter, a phone call, or even a text can be the bridge that brings a friend back into your life. Now let us move on to something a bit more personal, one of the most surprising regrets people mention near the end of life. It is not about money or success, it is about happiness. And the simple truth that many wish they had allowed themselves to be just a little happier. One of the quietest yet most profound regrets people express later in life is this: not allowing themselves to be happier. It might sound simple, but it carries a deep truth. Many older adults reflect on how often they held themselves back from joy, whether out of fear, guilt, or a belief that happiness had to be earned. Some felt they needed to appear serious to be respected. Others thought joy was something reserved for special occasions. But looking back, many realized they could have let themselves laugh more, dance more, or enjoy the little things without worrying so much. Research from palliative care professionals like Bronnie Ware echoes this sentiment. Happiness is often a choice, and choosing it daily through gratitude, laughter, or lightheartedness can add richness to life, even during challenging times. Consider Harold and Tom. Harold was practical and always focused on what needed to get done: bills, chores, responsibilities. Tom, his neighbor, had a habit of sitting on his porch with coffee in the mornings, greeting everyone who passed by with a smile. Over time, Harold noticed how at ease Tom seemed. One day, Harold asked, "What's your secret?" Tom chuckled and said, I just let myself enjoy what I have, even if it's not perfect. That stuck with Harold. He started joining Tom now and then, and over time he realized that a few moments of peace and connection each day made everything feel lighter. Sometimes, the path to greater happiness starts with a small shift in how we approach each day. And if you are still watching this video, thank you. It means you care about living fully and intentionally. If you feel comfortable, leave a 5 in the comments below so we know you are still with us. And if you have found this video helpful or comforting, please take a moment to like it and subscribe. We share more heart-to-heart conversations just like this to help you live with meaning, clarity, and joy. Now, let us continue with the next powerful life lesson. It is something we all know matters deeply, but often only realize once our health begins to fade. Taking care of our bodies before it is too late. Let us talk about the importance of not neglecting our health. One of the most common reflections shared by people in their later years is that they wish they had taken better care of their health. For many, it is not about major illnesses, but the small daily choices that slowly add up over time. Things like skipping regular checkups, putting off exercise, or choosing convenience foods over healthier options. According to the National Institute on Aging, staying on top of your health through routine screenings, proper nutrition, and physical activity can make a tremendous difference in how well you age, helping to prevent conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and even cognitive decline. The truth is, good health is the foundation for independence, energy, and a better quality of life. And while aging brings its own challenges, there is still so much that can be done, even later in life, to feel stronger and more vibrant. Think of two friends, Alice and Joyce. Both are in their early 70s and retired around the same time. Alice decided to start walking every morning and made a few changes to her diet. Nothing drastic, just smaller portions, more vegetables, and less soda. Joyce, on the other hand, felt too tired most days and thought it was too late to change. A few years in, Alice finds joy in moving, gardening, and even taking short trips. Joyce, sadly, struggles more with aches, energy, and has missed out on some of the things she used to love. It is not about blame, it is about knowing we have choices. It is never too late to put ourselves on a better path, one thoughtful step at a time. But even with movement and checkups, what we put into our bodies matters just as much. Let us move on to the next powerful reminder: why it is worth embracing risks when the reward is a fuller, richer life. As we age, it becomes easy to favor comfort and routine over uncertainty, but many older adults reflect that avoiding risks left them with deep regrets. Not necessarily the wild kind of risks, but meaningful ones. Taking a chance on a new relationship, moving to a place they always dreamed of, or pursuing a hobby they had put on hold for decades. According to psychologists, this regret stems not from failure, but from never trying. When we avoid stepping outside our comfort zones, we miss out on the personal growth, joy, and fulfillment that often come from doing something bold. The fear of failure or embarrassment tends to quiet down when we realize how quickly the years pass and how precious each new experience can be. Let us take the story of George and Ben, both retired at 68. George always wanted to take piano lessons but worried he was too old to start. Ben, who shared the same dream, decided to go for it. He signed up for a local beginner's class and practiced a little each day. Now, at 72, Ben plays simple songs for his grandkids, and the joy it brings them is something he never expected. George, meanwhile, still wonders what it would have been like. It is a small example, but it reflects a larger truth. It is rarely too late. Whether it is travel, learning something new, or reconnecting with a passion, trying despite the outcome often brings the greatest reward. But it is not just about adventure. What we do each day should also feel meaningful. Let us explore the importance of doing work or finding purpose that truly resonates with you. Many older adults, when looking back on their working years, say they wish they had chosen a path that felt more meaningful. They speak of spending decades in jobs that paid the bills, but left them feeling unfulfilled. This kind of regret often surfaces in the quiet moments when the pace of life slows down and there's more space to reflect. According to the American Psychological Association, a strong sense of purpose is linked to better mental and physical health, especially in our later years. Whether it was a passion left unexplored, a dream that felt out of reach, or simply staying in a role because it felt safe, Many people realize too late that their heart was never truly in their work. Consider Elaine and Donna, both retired nurses in their 70s. Elaine had always loved painting but never pursued it seriously because nursing offered job security. Donna, on the other hand, decided to work part-time and eventually opened a small art studio in her garage. Today, she teaches watercolors to local kids and volunteers at the community center. While both women are proud of their careers, Donna feels a deep sense of satisfaction from having made space for her creative passion. Elaine, meanwhile, quietly wonders what might have been. The message here is not to abandon responsibilities, but to listen to the parts of ourselves that crave deeper meaning and to honor them, even in small ways. Now that we have talked about work, let us shift to something even more precious, being truly present with the people we love. In our fast-moving lives, it is easy to be physically present, but mentally elsewhere. Our thoughts scattered, our attention divided. For many older adults, one of the most tender regrets they share is not being fully present with their loved ones. That means not just being in the same room, but truly listening, noticing, and appreciating the people who matter most. According to research published by the American Psychological Association, quality time, marked by attention and emotional presence, has a stronger impact on relationship satisfaction than the quantity of time spent together. When we are fully present, even ordinary moments become meaningful memories. Think about two friends, Harold and Ben, both now in their 80s. Harold spent most family dinners checking his phone or worrying about errands. Looking back, he says, the years flew by and the little moments slipped through his fingers. Ben, on the other hand, made it a habit to sit with his grandkids during their visits, asking questions, sharing stories, and simply enjoying their company. Now, Ben's grandchildren often visit just to talk with him, and those conversations have become treasured for everyone involved. The difference? Presence. And it is never too late to start being more present. Whether that means turning off the TV during dinner, making eye contact during conversations, or simply putting aside distractions to enjoy a quiet moment together. Next, let us talk about something deeply meaningful to many as they grow older: the desire to leave behind a legacy. Because the stories we share and the wisdom we pass down are among the greatest gifts we can offer. As we grow older, many of us start thinking more deeply about the mark we leave behind, not just in terms of possessions, but in the values, memories, and love we pass along. One of the most profound regrets expressed by older adults nearing the end of life is not leaving a legacy. This does not mean having a building named after you or writing a best-selling book. It means sharing your story, your lessons, your heart, whether through a journal, a letter to a grandchild, or simply sitting down to talk with a loved one. Your experiences are worth preserving. According to Cornell University's Legacy Project, people of all backgrounds and walks of life say they wish they had taken time to record and pass down their life wisdom. Take the story of two women, Ellen and Dottie. Ellen always thought about writing down her life memories, but she kept putting it off. Too busy, too tired, too unsure of where to begin. Dottie, on the other hand, started a simple habit. Every Sunday, she would jot down a few thoughts from her week or a favorite memory from her youth. Over time, those small notes became a treasured book for her family. Now, her grandchildren read her words when they miss her and feel a deep connection to who she was. Dottie's legacy lives on not just in photos, but in the guidance and warmth of her own voice. Leaving a legacy does not require perfection, just the willingness to share. As we come to the end of this video, I hope it has offered you more than just a list of lessons. It has offered you a moment to pause, to reflect, and to reconnect with what truly matters. We have explored some of the most common regrets people share in their final days, not to dwell on the past, but to gently remind ourselves that we still have time. Time to speak our hearts, to nourish our relationships, to take care of our health, and to live in alignment with who we really are. The beauty of this stage in life is that it brings clarity and the freedom to choose differently, even in small ways. Remember, small changes can lead to big improvements in your health and happiness, and it is never too late to begin again. I would love to hear your thoughts, perhaps a personal story, a lesson you have learned, or even one small step you are ready to take. Please feel free to share in the comments below. And if this video spoke to you, I gently invite you to like it and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Thank you for spending this time with me. You are not alone, and every choice you make today can help shape a more meaningful tomorrow.